Everybody, how you doing? June 29th, 4 p.m. here on the East Coast. 5 things I am watching today. We're going to Israel. Jerusalem Post has a story. IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Forces. IDF will run entirely on generative AI with a few years. They interview the Israeli cyber chief, Major General Erwan Niv. Here's a quote. I estimate within a few years, every area of warfare will be based on generative AI information. Without a strong digital bias, we will not be able to manage large operations. The digital arena will transform all other areas of war into being stronger in the air, in the sea, on the land. Pretty powerful stuff. So it's not even happening with your silly chat GPT. It's happening with the IDF on the battlefield. IDF really at the forefront of what's happening in technology, what Israel's doing. There's a great book by Dan Senior called Startup Nation, all about Israel, really punching above their weight. Them being small also forces their technology companies to go global really quick, and where they are in the part of the world, very intense corner of the world. So really doing some amazing stuff. So I want to bring that to your attention. Next story, Edward Luce. He's a columnist with the Financial Times. He has a column today, Bidenomics and America's New Deal. Yesterday, Joe Biden in Chicago basically kicked off, what do I want to say? You know, he made a classic GOP. He made a classic Democrat campaign speech, but really going all in on this idea about Biden economics. What's interesting, what Luce brings up, which I hadn't really thought about, a lot of this playbook was based on the Biden-Obama experience. If you remember 08, 09, there was a great financial crisis, and a lot of the playbook was based on that. But Luce is making the case that this is much more akin to kind of JFK, LBJ, because Biden, like LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, is a creature of the Senate, understands what's happening. So what's happening here, not only passing these big bills and stimulating the economy, but understanding from a Joe Biden perspective of what it will take to get legislation through. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of ideas that are really interesting, but if you can't get them through the legislative process, it doesn't really matter. So, interesting column, and this is more akin to, like I said, 1963 with LBJ. Something to think about. So, also, I'm not terribly in love with the idea of Biden economics. That came from the Reaganomics kind of mantra, and I'm trying to recall. I was too young. I do remember Ronald Reagan, but I was too young to remember if that moniker was used by the White House or if it was kind of given to them. By using this idea of Bidenomics front and center, I mean, that was like on the signage, that's like on the press release. I mean, they're all in on this phrase. I don't know how it's going to resonate. And I don't know. I like using words that are more aspirational, America, go forward kind of stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. There's an election, so. Other column in the Financial Times, Linda Yashinino is the new CEO of Twitter. She comes from us from she comes to us from NBC Universal, where she was in charge of advertising and marketing. She's about to drop her new vision in August of where Twitter is going. Look for a lot more video. Look for a lot more uses of Twitter Spaces. That's their audio platform. And look for a lot more effort of her trying to get kind of big advertisers back on board with Twitter. So we'll see. But video is where it's at, folks. That's why I'm on video here. But video is going to become more and more important. And that's where the action is. TikTok, LinkedIn, what I'm doing here, Twitter, all about the video. Frankly, it's a lot easier to shoot video than it is to write 500 words. So look for more and more video. Other thing I'm watching today, more from the Financial Times. I mean, is this the greatest paper or what? More from the Financial Times. The case for a digital euro. This is from Mayreed McGinnis. What a name. Giving 5 good reasons why this, 3 good reasons why the European Union should think about a digital currency. The one I really thought of was, there's obviously pros and cons, the big brother stuff, but just getting money into the system faster, this idea of velocity of currency is really interesting. And from a European perspective, really the big processors are Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. Those are all American companies. The European Union doesn't have an equivalent, so if they could go digital quickly, maybe this is the way to go. And Also, underserving or helping those underserved in the banking community don't have banking accounts. That's another way. But McGinnis brings up some good points. But I think like a lot of things, we're looking at this kind of data localization, building state champions. The European Union has really no kind of internet experience that we do in, say, China and the United States, hence why they become much more of a regulatory body than they have anything else. But I don't know, going all in digital currency, maybe that's the way for them to go. Speaking of going all in, huge story from space. This is the headline from the Washington Post. In a major discovery, scientists say space-time churns like a choppy sea. This is a wild story. Basically, what they're saying is that this confirms everything Einstein thought, that basically space travels in waves, big and small, and that we're just kind of rolling around in a sea. And black holes, new stars being made, and it's been happening for 13 billion plus years. What's interesting is that the gravitational waves cannot explain why some days you feel out of sorts. But it does offer a potential insight into the physical reality that we all inhabit. So I don't know. We can't blame it on the space yet. But huge discovery. Check that out in the Washington Post. I'm sure it's elsewhere. But space, gravitational waves, they're happening. Catch a wave. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Go.